Welcome guys to another video tutorial with you, Mr. Lee. In today's video tutorial, we are going to continue from where we stopped in our previous video for our CRUD operation for creating posts in Blog. Let's delve into the video. So the next, after the button, you remove the href, no need for href, the type is submit, and that's it. So the last thing we need to work on is our categories. Now, the categories that we'll be sending here are not categories would manually type like this, but the categories will be coming from the database. So we'll retrieve those items from the database. In order to retrieve the items from the database, you go back to your post controller, you get the categories. I'll compact already, but I'll do this order by name ascending, and you get. So if you can actually observe the code, my code structure, you can see before I actually complete the code by writing, the code is already completed. There's an autocomplete feature. This is added by Gemini. You can see my Gemini code assist is active. So it produces auto suggestions on my code even before I write it. So for you to actually enjoy this particular stuff, you can download Gemini this thing, what's it called, the extension from VS Code. So that's it for Gemini. So we'll go over back here. We'll actually just keep one of these options, and this first one we'll just put it as select category. Then the next one is what we are going to use, and we are going to use it for each loop. So we'll do V for each categories as category. So here we are going to put, okay, we can use this category ID as value. Yes, so the value now is category ID. Remember, that's what we are expecting to get, which is this category ID. Then the user is going to see is just the category name. So after having done that, our select tag, the name of this tag would be let me just call it category. So then for the description, we are going to be using what you see is what you get. We are going to be using a plugin called Summernote. Summernote is used for what you see is what you get editor. So WYSIWYG. So we are going to be using this Summernote. So now to incorporate Summernote into your website is either you use the CDN or you download their files. For example, if I click on that Summernote to take me here, so I can actually download their compiled files. And once I download their compiled files, I will add the part for CSS to CSS and the part for JavaScript to the place that has script tags, like the way we did when we wanted to add our assets. But for now, I'm going to be actually using the CDN file. So for CSS, I download the CDN for CSS, and I take it to the part of CSS, which I'm going to be adding that inside my app.blade.php. So I'll take it to my CSS part here. I can actually put it before the main CSS. So the second one here, I'm going to add it at the JavaScript aspect of this code. So I'm going to put it before the end of the script tag. I can put it here. So now at the end of everything, for me to use the CDN from their documentation, you can actually see how to use. Let me see the part for embed. So any div that is going to use it, I will have to have an ID of Summernote, and I haven't put that ID of Summernote. There will be a JavaScript file, JavaScript code that catches the ID and calls the method Summernote. This is jQuery. That's the dollar sign indicates jQuery. So before you can actually use this plugin, ensure you have jQuery. And I believe in the project we have jQuery already. here on the project, if I look for jQuery, I'm going to see jQuery. So before you use this Summernote, ensure there is jQuery on your project. So, and the CDN should be below the jQuery um, script tag. So inside this script tag here, I can also just call document ready function, then Summernote. Let me arrange this. So basically, once that is done, I can actually just call this ID inside of the description tag of our this thing. Instead of having this, I'm going to change it to text area, and the name of the text area is description. ID will be Summernote, which is corresponding to what we have here. So this is 3030, and that's that for that. So let's check our how our this thing looks at the moment. So, but ensure that before you actually can use, before you put the CDN, you have an internet connection. If you don't have internet connection, Summernote is not going to work. If you haven't actually refreshed the page, we are having this error. So you can actually guess the reason why this error is showing coming up. So you say category not found. So first of all, you go to the post controller and you import the category control model. Haven't imported, you come back, you refresh up, we're going to be seeing this, and our description is not working correctly. So the issue was actually coming from the fact that it was added inside the if section success and all that. So we are going to bring it out. In this case, we are going to be adding it inside a different script tag, document already, Summernote. We called you this and we give it the height. So let's refresh and see. So you can see that Summernote is active. So now let's go back to the prompt with DeepSeek. So go back to the prompt we gave DeepSeek, and we can see that DeepSeek has actually generated the various migration and models. So we're going to be making a post. I think PHP artisan make model post with the M flag, which is the migration flag. I think we've done that already. We already have. Let's check our database. In our database, we have our post table, and we have in our app models, we have our post model. So we've done that already. So now we'll copy this schema create. So we just copied this. I think it's the same thing would have inside here, schema blueprint and all that. So we just copy this and you paste it inside the table. So Control A, Control V. So we all have everything here: description, title, duration, constraint on delete, category ID, user ID. So everything is on point. Everything is on point. So except this string JSON, yeah, we can leave it as JSON. So the next part of what we have here is the post model. So the post model with the same thing, we are going to just copy it and we go to the model for the post and we Control A, we paste it here. So you can actually see this here, and the next part of it is the part of category. We've actually created our categories and all that. So for the resource controller, this is the index. We've actually done that for index already. So we've done for create. Of course, we've actually done categories all. So the part we are going to now is store. So we are going to copy the part for store. So it ends here, Control C. So for you to do this, you actually just put your cursor here on the first part here, then you hold down shift to the end, then Control C. So we go to our post controller. Now post controller, on the store, we're going to paste just this, and we're going to import this. I believe this already exists at the top here, so you have use model post. So the we are going to put a DD here to just request all of, to just see if our request is going. So the next thing is to go to the page that they are doing the post. Now on the page they are doing the post, which is the create.blade.php, you're going to see this. So we're just copying this completely on the from the action down to this part. So we go over to our adblock.post.php. On the adblock.php, you check your form. We look for form, and action. So look at it here. So we copy from here. We highlight from the action and we paste. Let's give this a space. So the method is post end type csrf comes after this. So now why we're actually adding this end type is because you're going to be adding an image. So if you're adding an image to your project, you don't have this, it will not work. So I think that's it for it. Let's echo our errors if there's going to be any error. So we come down here and we do b for each errors all as error. Then we are going to just use a p tag with an alert. So alert danger, then the error. So I think that's basically it. Haven't done that, we'll test this. So if you actually check on this we copied, the validation here has category ID. So instead of just changing the name to category, we can actually leave it as category ID. So having done that, we are going to go to our website and we are going to refresh the website. All things being equal, it should show well. And let's put a title here. Let's call it blog. Let's pick a category, culture. Let me use this so you actually see what you see is what you get actually in action. So we have this. So let me change this to, let's say we want to change this thing to comic, and let's say we want to use header one. Let's say welcome our blog. Let me just leave it like that, and let me just use a random thing here. Culture. Ensure you have a comma at the end of each of them. So let's say culture, ASDF, ASDF, something like that. Let's give this 2 minutes, and let me choose a file here. So the file I'm choosing here is just a text file, and let's add the blog and let's see if it works. So of course it's going across to our distance. So we go to the controller and let's see what was done in the controller. So here we know what validation does. To validate, once validation has passed, you see the tags, it trims it and it explodes. So explode is one of the method for strings. It takes two parameters. Number one, the string you're putting, and each of the comma in the strings, anywhere it says comma, it takes it to be a letter. So for example, I have let's say I have a comma b and c. This becomes, once there's a comma here and there's a comma here, c, it becomes something like this. This becomes, yes, an array of A, B, and C because of these commas that you're having. So that's what this explode does. It's a string method. So having done that, you see it becomes an array. So you're converting these tags to array. So this validated this thing variable here stores all the requests as an array. So it stores title, it stores tags and all that. So once it has actually stored it, once you arrange your tags here, it means for you to change what is the tags that is inside this validation, this thing, you have to use, since it's an associated array, you have to like get the key, which is tags, and you make it equal to the array you just exploded using commas. The next thing is to put add image to our database. So to add image, we use the store method. So you request the file image and you store. You're storing it inside the folder called post in your public. And this store means you're using a storage. We'll look out for the storage folder later. Then the next part is the validated user ID. So this user ID, we didn't actually put it from the form, but we are going to be taking it here. There is this thing called auth helper. This auth here helps you to get the person that is authenticated as the logged in user. You can also see something like this if you're actually using auth. If you use auth, you can see something like this. Maybe if you see this elsewhere, they mean the same thing. So auth user ID, this means the same thing, but if you're actually going to be using this method, you have to import it. But we're not going to use it, we'll stick to what we have already. So let me delete this. So I haven't actually added the user ID to the validated. Then once the post has been created, everything inside the validated, which is the image, tags, title, description, duration, and the user ID that was added as we went on, would be stored inside the post controller. All things being equal, this should actually work and return us back. Let me remove the DD at the top and see if it works. All things being equal, it should work. Currently we are having this error. That's because actually the base table block.post doesn't exist. So we've not actually run migration. So for us to do this, we are supposed to migrate the table we just created, which is the post table. So do PHP artisan migrate. So I haven't run that command. The table has been migrated. Let us refresh and resubmit this stuff. Moment, our page is showing blank because we are redirecting to posts.index, which is what you're seeing here. So we've not actually created a page for this, but there's a route, and this route at the moment does not have any view, so it's empty. So it means let's confirm if it was created successfully. So you go to your local host. Inside your local host, you look out for the table .env. I called my table blog. So I look out for the table blog. Inside the blog, I'm going to be looking out for my post and see if anything was added to my post. So blog table, blog table. So my blog table, I'll look out for posts. So on the post table, you can actually see something has been added. So this simply means this thing is working, and it's working perfectly. You can see the culture is 4, the this thing is 1, user ID is 1, that's the user. Then the description, you can see the description is coming as HTML tags, which is what you see is what you get based on what the Summernote we integrated. Then you can see the tags are coming in as array. So everything is working fine. In the next video, we are going to be actually retrieving this data and we are going to be showing it to the user. Okay, that'll be it for this video. Do well to like, share, write your comments if you have any question, and also hit the notification bell and hit the subscribe button. I'll see you in my next video.